Ah, my dear friend, let me tell you something that might sound a little crazy at first. Something so simple, so ordinary. And you might laugh and say, Paul, you finally lost your marbles at 80. But listen closely. It's about baking soda water. Yes, you heard me right. Plain old baking soda dissolved in water. Not some fancy, overpriced potion from a health store. Not a shiny bottle with words you can't even pronounce, but that little box you probably got hiding in the back of your pantry. The same one you used to keep the fridge from smelling like last week's fish. Now, before you roll your eyes, let me share my story. Because, my friend, when I tell you that seniors like you and me can drink baking soda water the right way and watch 8 nagging health problems fade into the background, I'm not spinning a fairy tale. I'm speaking from experience. And you know I've lived long enough to have tried nearly everything under the sun. Some wise, some downright foolish. And trust me, this little trick, it works wonders. You know, when you hit my age, you start to appreciate the small miracles in life. Like when you can put your socks on without losing balance, or when you sneeze without pulling a muscle. And if you find something cheap, easy, and effective for your health, well, it feels like you've stumbled on a secret treasure chest buried in your own kitchen. Let me start by painting you a picture. A couple of years ago, I was having terrible issues with acid reflux. You know that burning fire climbing up your chest in the middle of the night, making you feel like a dragon ready to breathe fire on anyone who dares wake you? That was me. I'd be sitting up in bed, fanning myself, begging for relief. Medications helped a little, but then came side effects. You solve one problem and create 3 new ones. That's when an old friend whispered the secret. Paul, try baking soda water. At first I thought, what? Baking soda? The thing I used to clean my dentures and scrub the sink? But I was desperate. So I gave it a shot. Just half a teaspoon in a glass of water, stirred well, sipped slowly. Within minutes, mind you, that burning pain melted away like snow under the sun. I leaned back in bed, smiled, and thought, well, Paul, you've discovered nature's fire extinguisher. But my story doesn't end there, because what I discovered was that baking soda water isn't just a quick fix for acid reflux. It's like a Swiss Army knife for health, especially for seniors like us and me who don't bounce back from things the way we used to. It can help with so many problems that plague us in old age, and it's dirt cheap. 8 different health issues, my friend, 8 of them. And I want to walk you through each one with a bit of storytelling, a bit of laughter, and maybe even a few tears, because I've lived through most of these struggles myself. But before we dive into the first miracle, let me tell you something. You know me well enough to know I don't believe in magic pills. I've been scammed too many times by those late-night infomercials promising eternal youth if you just buy a bottle of miracle berry extract. I fell for one of those once, spent $79.99 plus shipping. All I got was diarrhea and a bruised ego. But baking soda? That's no scam. It's been studied, it's been tested, and best of all, it's been sitting right there in our kitchens this whole time waiting for us to notice. Now, my dear, let's get into it. Problem number 1 that baking soda water helps with is acid reflux and indigestion. I already shared my fire-breathing dragon story, but let me add this. The relief isn't just physical, it's emotional too. Because when you're not up all night battling heartburn, you wake up happier, calmer, and ready to enjoy the day. Sleep, my friend, is priceless. And if half a teaspoon of baking soda can give it back to you, why on earth wouldn't you try it? Problem number 2, urinary tract infections. Now, don't blush, we're close friends here, right? I can talk about anything with you, right? At my age, UTIs used to sneak up on me like an uninvited guest. The burning, the urgency, the constant trips to the bathroom, it was enough to make me want to build a tent in the bathroom and just live there. But here's the thing. Baking soda water helps neutralize the acid in your urine, making it harder for those nasty bacteria to thrive. It's like putting up a no trespassing sign for them. Combine that with plenty of water, and suddenly I wasn't suffering anymore. I could leave the bathroom behind and enjoy life again. Problem number 3, it helps with kidney health. Kidneys, the unsung heroes working day and night, filtering our blood and keeping us alive. Might have been through a lot. Years of salty food, sugary treats, and the occasional whiskey haven't exactly been kind to them. Doctors often warn seniors about kidney decline, but baking soda has been shown to slow down that progression. It supports the kidneys, helps balance acidity, and keeps things running smoother. I'm not saying it'll replace your doctor's advice, never skip your doctor friend, but as a little support system, it's incredible. Problem number 4, uric acid and gout. Oh, my dear, let me tell you about my first gout attack. I thought my toe was being stabbed by invisible knives. I hobbled around like an old pirate with a wooden leg, shouting at everyone to stay away from my foot. Gout is cruel. It makes you feel like your body has betrayed you. But baking soda helps dissolve uric acid crystals, reducing the pain and preventing future flare-ups. I started sipping it regularly, and slowly the attacks came less and less. Now I can actually enjoy a good piece of meat once in a while without fearing the wrath of my big toe. That's 4 problems already, and I still have 4 more to share. But before I go further, let me pause here for just a moment. My dear friend, if you're enjoying this little journey into senior wisdom, do me a favor. Tap that like button. Leave a comment below about whether you've tried baking soda water yourself. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Because trust me, at 80 years old, I've still got a lot more stories, secrets, and laughter to share with you. And I don't want you to miss a single one. All right, back to business. Problem number 5, exercise recovery. Now you know me. At 80, I'm not exactly lifting weights or running marathons, but I do try to keep active. I stretch, I take gentle walks, and occasionally I try something ambitious, like carrying 2 grocery bags at once. That counts as weightlifting in my book. But here's the secret. Baking soda helps reduce lactic acid buildup in the muscles. It means less soreness and faster recovery. So even if you're doing simple exercises or chores around the house, a little baking soda water can help you bounce back quicker. And let's be honest, anything that helps us bounce back at our age is a blessing. Problem number 6, balancing pH levels in the body. Now some people think that's just a fancy health trend, but let me explain. As we age, our bodies often become more acidic due to stress, poor diet, and medications. Too much acidity wears us down. Baking soda is alkaline. It helps restore balance. When your pH is balanced, you feel lighter, more energetic, and even your skin looks better. I used to wake up groggy, achy, feeling like the Tin Man before Dorothy found the oil can. But after adding this little ritual of baking soda water, I noticed a change. It was like my body finally said, thank you for the reset. Problem number 7, oral health. Now don't laugh. You know I've been fighting tooth and gum problems for years. Dentists love to remind me how many fillings I've got. But baking soda water helps fight bacteria in the mouth, freshens breath, and even protects the gums. I gargle with it sometimes, and it feels like a mini spa day for my mouth. My grandchildren don't run away from my kisses anymore, and that's a victory worth celebrating. And finally, problem number 8, inflammation. Oh, the aches and pains of old age. Knees creaking, back groaning, fingers stiff. Inflammation is the root of so much suffering, but baking soda water has anti-inflammatory properties. When I started drinking it regularly, the difference was subtle at first, But then one day I realized I wasn't groaning every time I stood up from my chair. My joints felt a little kinder, my movements a little freer. I may not be dancing the tango anymore, but at least I'm not limping to the kitchen. So there you have it, my dear. 8 powerful ways that baking soda water can transform the life of a senior. It's simple, it's affordable, and it's right there in your pantry. Sometimes the greatest miracles aren't found in expensive pills or complicated treatments. They're found in the humble, ordinary things we've overlooked all along. Now, I know you're curious. You're probably thinking, Paul, tell me exactly how to take it so I don't mess this up. And don't worry, I'll guide you through that too. But before we dive into the how, let me take a sip of my own glass of baking soda water and share with you a few more personal tales, because what good is advice without a little story to make it stick? Now, as promised, let me share with you the exact way I drink baking soda water so you can try it safely and reap the same benefits. You see, at our age, it's not just about what works, it's about doing it gently, carefully, and wisely. We don't have the luxury of bouncing back from mistakes like we did in our 20s. If I eat one wrong thing now, I pay for it the next day with heartburn, bloating, or a bathroom marathon. So trust me, I learned the do's and don'ts through trial, error, and a few embarrassing stories I'll spare you the details of. The basic recipe is simple. Half a teaspoon of baking soda stirred into 1 glass of water. That's it. Not a full spoon, not a heaping scoop, just half a teaspoon. Too much at once and you'll be spending quality time in the bathroom, and let me tell you, that's not the kind of cleansing experience you want. I made that mistake once. I thought, if half a teaspoon is good, then a full spoon must be even better. Big mistake. I'll put it this way, I got to know my toilet bowl a little too personally that day. Now, you drink it slowly, never chug it down. Sip, pause, sip again. It's not a race, my friend, it's a gentle ritual. And timing is everything. Don't drink it right after a heavy meal, or your stomach might grumble at you. I usually take mine either first thing in the morning, before breakfast, or late at night before bed. It depends on what my body feels like it needs. If I've been eating heavy foods, I'll take it in the evening to calm things down. If I've had a restless night of acid reflux, I'll drink it in the morning to start fresh. But let me tell you something funny. I once tried drinking it before going out for a family lunch. My granddaughter, bless her heart, invited me to an Italian restaurant. I thought, better prepare my stomach with some baking soda water. Well, I did, but then I ordered lasagna, garlic bread, and cheesecake. You can imagine what happened. My stomach tried to wage war against me halfway through dessert. Baking soda can help, yes, but it's not a free pass to abuse your body. Moderation is still the secret to aging gracefully. Now, let's take a deeper dive into those 8 health problems, because I want you to understand them in a way that sticks. You see, our minds remember best when they're wrapped in a story. So I'll share with you little snapshots of my own journey with each problem, and maybe you'll see yourself in one of them. Take acid reflux, for instance. I used to call it my midnight visitor. Every night around 2 in the morning, it would knock on my chest, wake me up, and remind me that I wasn't 20 anymore. It got so bad that I started stacking pillows to sleep upright, like some kind of ancient pharaoh in his tomb. Then came the baking soda water, and suddenly those midnight visitors became less and less frequent. One night I woke up at 2, ready for the pain, but it never came. I almost cried tears of joy. You don't realize how precious simple sleep is until it's stolen from you. And then there's gout. Oh, my poor toe. I'll never forget the night it first attacked me. I was sitting in my recliner, watching television, when suddenly it felt like someone had slammed a hammer on my foot. I shouted so loud my neighbor knocked on the door, worried I'd fallen. I pointed at my swollen toe, and she said, "Oh, Paul, that's gout." I didn't believe her until the doctor confirmed it the next day. But baking soda water became my silent ally. Slowly but surely, those flare-ups lost their power over me. Now, instead of dreading them, I live without fear. My foot may not win any beauty contests, but at least I can walk without limping like a wounded pirate. Now let's talk about kidneys. At 80, I don't take those little organs for granted. I lost a dear friend, Jack, a few years ago to kidney failure. Watching him suffer through dialysis broke my heart. He told me once, "Paul, if I could turn back time, I'd treat my kidneys better." That stuck with me. So when I learned that baking soda water could help support kidney function, I embraced it wholeheartedly. Each sip feels like a small tribute to Jack, a way of honoring his memory by taking better care of myself. And maybe, just maybe, it will save me from the same fate. But my favorite benefit, dear friend, is its impact on inflammation. You know how old joints love to scream at us? Some mornings my knees sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, pop. But baking soda water has been like oil from my rusty hinges. One morning I noticed I could stand up without gripping the edge of the table for dear life. I almost laughed. "Well, Paul," I told myself, "look at you, moving like you're 65 again." It's small victories like these that make life sweeter. Now let me step away from the health talk for a moment, because I want to tell you something deeper. My friend, aging is strange. It sneaks up on you. One day you're running around chasing children. The next day you're the one being chased by pills, by aches, by doctor appointments. And sometimes it feels overwhelming. But when you discover little remedies, little daily habits that bring relief, it gives you hope. And hope is the secret ingredient to a long, joyful life. Baking soda water may be just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a piece that reminds me I still have some control, some fight left in me. Now let me circle back to the practical side. Some people ask me, "Paul, how long should I drink it?" My answer is always, listen to your body. Don't turn it into a rigid routine that feels like a chore. Some weeks I drink it 3 times, some weeks daily, and sometimes I take a break altogether. The beauty is in the flexibility. It's not a prison, it's a tool. And as long as you respect it, it'll respect you back. Another little tip, make sure your baking soda is fresh. I once used a box that had been sitting in the pantry since who knows when. It had absorbed every smell from garlic to onions. When I mixed it in water, it tasted like liquid spaghetti. Lesson learned. Always keep a fresh box for health purposes, separate from the one you use for cleaning or deodorizing your fridge. Now, my dear, let me ask you a question. Have you noticed how the simplest solutions in life are often the ones we overlook? We spend fortunes chasing complicated cures while the answers sit quietly in our kitchen cupboards. Baking soda water, apple cider vinegar, a good night's rest. These are humble treasures, often ignored because they're not wrapped in shiny packaging. But I tell you, if we seniors embrace these small habits, we can live not just longer, but better. I'll share one last story before we close this little chapter of wisdom. A few months ago, my granddaughter asked me, "Grandpa, what's your secret to living so long?" I laughed and said, "Stubbornness." But then I thought about it seriously. My secret isn't just stubbornness. It's curiosity. It's the willingness to keep learning, to keep trying new things, even at 80. Who would have thought that a man my age would be singing the praises of baking soda water on the internet? But here I am, sharing it with you, my friend, because knowledge is a gift meant to be passed on. So let me leave you with this. Try it. Start small. Half a teaspoon, a glass of water, a curious heart, and watch as 8 health problems begin to fade one by one. It won't happen overnight, but slowly, steadily, like a sunrise creeping over the horizon, you'll notice the change. And when you do, you'll think of this old man at 80 who sat you down, told you stories, cracked a few jokes, and begged you to give it a chance. And remember, we're in this together. Share your experiences, tell your story, and let others know what works for you. Oh, and don't forget, if you found value in this little journey, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, because I've got plenty more stories to share. And at 80 years old, I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. After all, my dear, life is too precious to keep wisdom locked away.